So I'm feeling very drawn to my crow deck today. So I thought we could see what is connecting in to the collective's heart chakra today. So what is in and around my collective's heart chakra today, please? Let's see what's going on in your heart space or what's coming into your heart space. Let's see. Okay, so at the moment you're sat in an energy of protection. So there's something that you're being protected from. And there's an energy of resistance around you. So whatever it is that you're being protected from, that might be where, it's my confirmation. That's where the resistance is coming up. So you're not actively protecting yourself from whatever this situation is. So it's being done for you because you're being resistant to it. So you might be accepting or putting up with behavior that isn't the best. Now, there's a situation going on with territory. So at the moment, someone is trying to potentially assert dominance. Literally, as I said the word dominance, this card came out. I was about to say trying to assert dominance. So it's likely that this person is a part of your routine, okay? So they were part of your routine. Let me get some more light here. They were a part of your routine. So it might be that you share children together. It might be that you work together. There's some kind of shared space where you both have to be. And at the moment, they're trying to assert dominance within this shared space. And so you're being protected from that, from the energy of that. You're being shielded from it because it's building up resistance for you. There's a lot of angry energy here as well. There's a lot of anger within this situation. Why do I feel like that's coming from them? And that's why because I don't know, it's like they're trying to assert their dominance. But it feels to me like they're not managing to do that, which is making them angry. Which is likely why you're being protected from it. Because all they're focused on is themselves at the moment. And it's almost like they see this as a game. They think this is... It's almost like fun to them. And they're just completely focused on themselves. So they have no concern or no interest in how this is affecting you. They're just trying to assert their dominance, play their little games and focus on themselves. So you're needing to change your perspective here. You're needing to change the perspective. It's you that needs to change your perspective because there's resistance to this protection. So it's like that you're being shielded from this person, but you don't want to be. So you're resistant to the protection. But what's important to remember here, and this is what I'm hearing in my head, in my head. This is what I'm hearing from my spirit team, is you don't know what's going on around you that you can't see. So that's slightly concerning. So there's obviously stuff that's happening in rooms that you're not in. There's things that are happening that you can't see, which is why you're being so protected from this person. But you're so resistant to it. You need to shift your perspective because they do not have good energy. You need more insight. It's like you need to actually see what's going on. You're not trusting in what you're being told or what you're being shown, how things look. So you need that insight. There's an element of fear sat here as well. So you might be slightly fearful of allowing yourself to see the truth of this situation. It's like you don't want to believe it. And again, On the territory now, I have teamwork. So I strongly suspect here that you have to work in some kind of unity with this person. So you either share children together, you work together, something like that. There's something where you need to be working almost as a team. So they are trying to assert their dominance over the routine. Like, I'm the one that's in charge here. That's interesting that that's come out on top of the team, on top of the territory. So they're trying to mark their territory, basically, with their dominance. Like, yes, we have to be here together, but I'm going to show you that I'm the person that's in charge, which is why they're getting angry. So you might be, even though they're doing that and they're trying to show that they're the one that's in charge here, I get the impression that they're obviously not. And they're failing at that, which is what's bringing up the anger. So they know, which is, again, why they feel the need to assert this dominance. When you're confident in what you're doing, your abilities to be able to, like, take care of someone, your children, anything like that, you don't feel the need to assert this dominance to go around, oh, yeah, I'm the best person at this. You just don't. You don't feel the need to voice it because you embody that energy. So you don't feel the need to shout about it. It's like the people that always profess that they're not cheaters are always the cheaters. It's like they're projecting. It's a projection. What do we need to know about this situation? Yeah, so you're in a stage, I believe, of grief over this dominance. I think you can't quite believe what's happening here. So where this situation has broken down and now you're having to, this is giving narcissistic sort of energy, to be honest with you. But I think you're sat in a stage of grief because you can't believe how they're trying to control things. You can't believe the dominance that they're trying to assert over you when at one time you had a life, a happy relationship, a happy family with this person. But you're being called to release that grief. You need to try and let that go, release it, and see the situation for what it is. You need to look at this because, and I can't clear my voice, which is my confirmation from my team, that this is really, really significant. They're playing games here, okay? And it seems like they might be starting to try thinking about ramping things up. But what they're assessing at the moment is whether the risk outweighs the reward. Is this worth it? If it doesn't go well, what am I going to lose? It's that sort of thing. So I don't know if they're trying to play games with you in terms of you or in terms of your routine. But at the moment, they're trying to assess the situation and see whether they think the benefits of that risk outweighs the reward, if that makes sense. Is it worth it for them to carry on with this sneaky behaviour, with these illusions? They're just putting up illusions everywhere. Be very, very cautious around this person. They are not being honest with you. They're trying to put illusions up everywhere so that you don't know what's going on. They're trying to remove your insight so that you can't see clearly. And yeah, see, and you're just being called to observe here. So you need to really be sitting back and watching what they're doing. Try not to let them get like anything past you at the moment. Keep your eyes open at all times. Almost be suspicious of their behaviour, because they are up to something here. They are up to something here. In fact, let's switch cards. Where am I switching to? Hang on, sorry. This is not good energy. Let's check. Okay, please tell us about this person. What is it that what's the trickery, the illusions? Okay, this is somebody that you have some kind of soul tie with, some kind of soul connection with. So So it's likely that you've come in to learn lessons from each other. But you were in a very stable situation with this person. So you were in I would say, a long-term relationship. I think this is involving children because of the routine part of it. That's where it's leading me to. But this person within this connection started to treat you like an option. So there was a time when you were in a very loving relationship with this person, but then it started to break down. You started to be treated like an option, and there was some kind of ending. You've moved forward to start making healthy choices. There was potentially another woman within this connection. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, it looks like there was a third party involved here. And we're definitely dealing with narcissistic sort of behaviour. So this person is not the most honest person. They use their charm. They overstep boundaries. And it looks like they're potentially sneaking about with other women as well. This is why you're needing to be protected from this person. This makes so much sense to me now. Because you have a soul tie with them. So you will be feeling their emotions and their thoughts and everything through this soul tie. So every time they think about you, every time they talk about you, it will pull on your energy. So that's why you're being shielded at the moment. That's why you're being protected, so that it doesn't continually pull on your energy, and so that you're able to move forward without that constantly affecting you. It's really difficult to move on from somebody that you've got a soul tie with, because you can constantly feel them tugging on your energy. But obviously this person is not a good person. They're trying to play games with you. They've been off with other women. Now, I think you probably had quite an intense connection with this person. There was probably a lot of chemistry between the two of you. There normally is for a twin flame connection, because it's the other half of your soul. So you recognize that energy. You feel like you've known it forever. You instantly get the feeling that you shared past lives together, that you've shared all of this stuff, because you're energetically a match. You're the same energy. You come from the same soul. Now, this person is being strategic. So they are not showing their hands. So they're not wanting you to realise what it is that they're doing. And what it is that they're doing is, it might be that they're dating again. So I don't know how recently it was that you guys separated. And obviously if you share children, you were potentially married, living together, things like that. Seeing them moving on very quickly is going to be quite a difficult thing. So it might be that they're trying to hide. They're being strategic about it. But it seems that they are potentially dating again. And they're not wanting you to... They're not wanting you to know this. So they are moving on, okay? They are moving on, but there's a bit of an issue with closure here. So that's likely because you're still both so entangled in each other's energy, where you share children and things like that. Now, I don't know if it's that this person has just started to date again, or that they're dating, which is now being taken to a deeper level. So it might not be a recent separation. It may have been a while, but it might be that they're thinking of potentially getting engaged or something like that with a new person. And it would seem that they don't really want you to know that at the moment. They're holding their cards close to their chest. So maybe they're worried that this is going to cause a bit of problems in like co-parenting. It might be that they think you're not emotionally in a place where you could handle that information. But there's definitely things that they're hiding from you. And that's why they're being so strategic. That's why they're trying to assert their dominance, so that they're almost the one that's in charge. So then when this information does come out to you, it's... Yeah, this is about letting go and moving on. So they are in a stage now, I think, where they're really letting go of the connection between the two of you. And they're trying to move on from that. But there's something about... I think they're worried about how you're going to react to this information. Let's check some more stuff here. I'm sorry if that's what's coming forward for you. And that's not something that you're wanting to hear, but that might give you the closure that you need to be able to move forward from this. I feel drawn to my Mystic Forest deck, so let's check what's coming through on this. It's not nice to see somebody move on like that. I think even when you're sort of done with the relationship, it does tug on your ego a little bit to see somebody moving on with somebody else. But you need to really step into your authenticity now, okay? So stepping into your authenticity and being authentic to yourself, being really true to yourself, is what's going to attract the right people towards you and repel the wrong ones. So you're naturally going to filter out people that don't align with you, that don't align with your path, that don't align with your values. If you act in a way that is more authentic to yourself. So I feel like you're limiting yourself at the moment with your inner voice, the way you speak to yourself, okay? And you need to remember that you are enough just as you are. And that if someone does, and remember who you are. Remember who you are. You are enough just as you are. And if someone doesn't want to accept you like that, then they can leave. Goodbye. And you can welcome in somebody that is much more aligned with you, with your values, with what makes you authentically you, you know? If you have pure intentions, it opens doors for you. But you need to be able to show up in that energy for yourself, you know. If you can't show up in an authentic energy for you're almost molding yourself to be the person that you think that someone else needs you to be, you're not being authentic to yourself. You're wearing a mask. It's so important that we show our true selves. And if someone doesn't accept you for that, that's on them, you know. And we can still sit in our authenticity and understand that we are enough exactly as we are. And you don't need to change yourself to be with somebody. There's 7 billion people in the world. There will be somebody that aligns with you, with your authenticity, with your goals, with your wants, your hopes for the future. The pause that you're experiencing at the moment is where the energy is going to shift for you. So that's where you're going to experience the growth that you need, okay? Your past is behind you now. Everything that you desire is right in front of you. Pause to reconnect with your power. And it's about not giving up and remembering who you are and starting to forge that new path for yourself. This is what you need to do. You need to step away from this person and their energy, even though I know you're entangled because of your life with your children or whatnot, however that looks for you within this collective. You need to really try and separate yourself from the energy. And when you're having to deal with somebody like almost on a day-to-day basis, it makes it even harder to move on from these situations. It really, really does. But the messages are flying. You just need to try and let go, because you're at the beginning you're almost at the start line of a new journey for yourself. Oh my God. And you need to participate. So I'm hearing stand up now. Stand up. So I don't know whether you've been feeling a bit low, but you're being there. I can hear stand up. But you need to put yourself out there. You need to participate. You need to not hide. This is literally like they're finishing my sentences. You need to not hide, because unless you put yourself out there, unless you participate, you're isolating yourself, aren't you? You know, and it's about not focusing on the problems, not focusing on the suffering that you're going through. And that's when life's going to swing back into balance for you, because you're sat in the energy of struggle, of chaos, and you need to step away from that and step into peace. Feel the peace that's around you. You don't need to do anything to be more worthy, this card says. You don't need to do anything to be more worthy. You are valuable regardless of your circumstances. So this might be some of the dominance that they're trying to put over you, okay? They might have like more authority than you, more money than you do, something like that. And it's making you feel slightly less than, which again, if this person shows up then saying, oh, I'm engaged now, that again is likely going to make you feel, why wasn't I good enough for that? Why didn't you want that from me? But you need to recognize, one, that this person is a narcissist. They do not have good energy. Why would you want to welcome that back into your energy? Yeah, it's your ego that is driving that. It's the why don't they want me sort of thing that pulls on your ego. When you actually stop to think about it, regardless of your circumstances, you are enough. You are worthy, and there is no debate to that ever. You are enough. Don't let them make you feel like you're not. Hang on, let's get some of these other cards for you as well, because I feel like when this information comes towards you, this revelation, it's going to hit you like a train. I think my cards fell then. That's my tarot deck. I don't really read tarot very much, but I have a specific one for somebody that I communicate with, and the star card has come out. Interesting. Right, let's see what guidance can we give this person to move forward with this, through this situation, please. There's something about a piano. There's something about a piano. You might play the piano. They may play the piano. You might be taking your children to piano classes. There's something about a piano. That's a detail, so don't make it fit. If that doesn't resonate with you, this is not your reading. This is a divinely guided connection. So you do have a soul tie with this person. You are some kind of twin flame. It's being divinely guided. You are going through spiritual growth at the moment. So this may have been a trigger for you to trigger a spiritual awakening, like a dark night in the soul in you. It might be that when this information comes forward, it's so difficult for you to accept that it's that triggers it. So if you haven't been triggered into a spiritual awakening at the moment, it's likely coming. And you are there's clarity coming towards you as well. So there is something that you're about to discover. You're being called to write your own story. Don't live the story of others. This is so important as well, where this person is trying to be so domineering over you and trying to control everything. Don't allow them to do that. Again, with the clarity. So you are going to be able to see things more clearly soon. So this information that comes to you, this like revelation, is going to help you to see things more clearly, I think. But when that comes, make sure you're speaking up. Make sure you're speaking your truth. Don't allow them to, I'm hearing bulldozer you. So it might be that whenever you try and speak up about things, they speak over you. And you're constantly like, but, and you just can't get a word in. They're like bulldozering you every time. And you need to really, this is about really believing in yourself and focusing on your intentions. You're getting a lot of signs at the moment that are helping you to move forward. So pay attention to those signs. But the pain that you're feeling at the moment is for growth. There's messages within that. And you are starting to find your way forward now, I think. But that's why this is... I feel like this piece of information that's coming towards you is going to knock you back a little bit. Just a little bit. Because I think you're not expecting it. So it's going to be a bit shocking to you, which is what's then going to set you back. I can almost see you like jumping backwards. So it's not too far back, it's pushing you, but it is going to push you backwards. But when that happens, you need to go deeper. So really go within, really search for those answers within yourself. Look elsewhere, you need more. Maybe you search the branches for what's only in the roots. So you always needed more than this person anyway. They were never enough for you, for your energy. But obviously when you're in love with somebody, it's really difficult to see those things. Now, I just want to... Let's just check on some shadows here and see what shadows might be lurking around this person. So what shadows do they have that need to be worked through still, please? So they are needing to break down mental chains. They're needing to break down old belief systems. They need to integrate their shadow. So they fight their darkness instead of trying to learn from it. These cards are for you. This row is for you. So you need to try and turn your pain into purpose here. And embrace the uncertainty that you're going through. They're really wanting to get these messages through about you. So embrace the uncertainty that you're going through at the moment and just surrender to this change. This is what is needed for you. It's not something that you're going to be able to stop or control. So you need to try and embrace that. Surrender to that change coming through. I feel like this is leaving you with a bit of a fear of love. So you might need to work through that. Try not to let this, here we go, this is literally it. I was about to say, try not to let this affect you so badly that you stop, you pause, and it leaves you stuck. How are you narrating your life at the moment? Do you narrate your life through a lens of limitation or through empowerment? How are you talking to yourself about this situation at the moment? Are you sat in an energy of blaming, of regret? I should have done this. I could have tried more. I could have done this. You need to be narrating your life in order to empower you, to break down those mental chains, to integrate shadow, to turn that pain into purpose. You need to... And there's the abandonment wounds on the bottom of the deck. So this is, when we go through hurtful situations like this, it makes us build up walls. So you need to be really careful at the moment the way you're speaking to yourself. Here, the guilt trap. Release unnecessary guilt. You are not to blame for the breakdown of this connection, but I feel like you're carrying guilt for it. You're carrying blame. Potentially because of your children. I could have done more. I could have fixed this for them. You need to release that guilt because deep, deep down, you know that this sort of energy that this person was showing up as, snake energy, this is not your fault. This is not your fault. You can't fundamentally change who another person is. So if that's how they're showing up, you need to absolutely release that guilt because it certainly isn't your fault. And you're carrying like grief, unexpressed grief from the situation as well. Yeah, and you're someone that has a very harsh inner critic. So you're very, very hard on yourself. You need to give yourself more grace. You need to forgive yourself. This is about going on a journey of self-forgiveness and then empowerment, which is why they're telling you to stand up. That voice that I heard earlier, stand up. And that was a stern voice. I mean, that might be Lilith. I do work with Mother Lilith, and she's always very empowering in situations like this, especially for women. But don't allow yourself to self-sabotage in this moment. Make sure you're focusing really on yourself. Make sure you're really focusing on speaking to yourself kindly. Work on that inner critic. Work on releasing that guilt. Work on turning your pain into a purpose. Surrender to the change that's coming forward, because it's what you need. It's what you need. If this person has been pulled from your path, it's for a reason. And it's the illusion of control. So you're falling victim to the illusions of their control, where they're trying to dominate things. I think it's leaving you feeling just in this heavy energy where you're starting to blame yourself. So their illusions, their trickery that they're putting around you is starting to have an effect on your psyche, on the way you're processing your emotions, on the way you're moving forward. And it's leaving you so vulnerable. Your energy is very, very vulnerable at the moment, which is why you're being protected by your spirit team, by like your ancestors, by your guides, because your energy is very, very vulnerable at the moment. You're like a tiny bird. I can see someone like them cupping like this, a tiny bird, and you're inside, you're the tiny bird, and they're trying to shield you from this because there's so much chaotic energy. It's like I can see it like winds swirling around the hands, and so they're protecting you inside to try and keep you from feeling that energy. I'm just going to get some nice cards now just to wrap this up on a bit of a nicer energy, because that's like yucky energy to me. Someone that's trying to control things like that. This is just narcissistic behavior, isn't it? This is what narcissists do. A lot of the time, narcissists try for full custody when, like, really, they don't even want it. But they just want to be able to control you. They know that that's what you want. So they try and take it from you. What guidance can we give my collective, please, to give them strength to move through this? Okay, so the number 7 might be significant here. Let the spark of hope within you ignite and never cease, for it's never too late to manifest your dreams. This is the coming of fall. So it feels like this is your time now. It feels like you're really gonna, again, I'm hearing stand up, reclaim your power. You've forgotten who you are. You've forgotten the strength that you hold within you. And you need to, it's time to get up and reclaim that. There's magic in the weaving of unity. So you need to start weaving things, like weaving the day-to-day things of your life. Like try and rebuild, you know. Weave that energy in the way that you want it to be. Each tiny action that you take is taking you one step closer to where you want to be. These cards are so beautiful. There's so much beauty everywhere and around you. And you might not feel like you're making progress, but even these teeny tiny steps that you're taking are just pushing you forward into the right direction. And you have worked hard. You have been dedicated through this connection. So it's time for you to reap the rewards of that, you know. And neglecting to address the weeds within will prevent you from receiving. They needed to be removed. They were a weed. They needed to be taken out of the garden. Because weeds prevent the flowers from flourishing. They prevent the true growth. And they were preventing your true growth by controlling everything. They're so controlling. Expect growth and expansion as your hard work has paid off. It's time to celebrate. Look at all the wonderful things that you've got coming towards you now that you've removed this weed from your life. Whether it was willingly or not, they've been removed for a reason. And now you're being heavily protected and shielded from their energy. So you can't feel the chaos coming down that soul tie through that energetic cord. It's like having a bungee cord attached to you, a tight cord that someone's going ping, ping, ping all the time. And you can just feel it. And you're like, wait, what? What is it? You can feel I've been mid-sentence with somebody before and someone has come pinging into my brain. And it's that soul tie. So it's about, you need to become really present, okay? Be really, really present. Reconnect with the earth. Reconnect in water. Reconnect in the woods. Just ground. Reconnect with nature. However that looks for you. To deny your heart's joy is to deny nourishment to your spirit. Go on a journey of self-discovery. Really, really. This is your time. This is your glow up era. You know when people get divorced or they go through massive breakups and they come out of it looking like a completely different person? This is the sort of energy that's coming towards you now, but you've got to pick yourself up. I feel like you need a bit of a nudge to pick yourself up. It's this stand up. I keep hearing it all the time. Stand up, stand up. So you may feel a bit low at the moment. Your energy might be really low, really down, but it's time now to pick yourself up. Pick yourself up and start moving forward. Nourish your spirit. And the rest will follow. It always does. You have a massive harvest coming towards you. Just needed to do some weeding. That's all. But be aware of the illusions that are around you. Don't allow this person to trick you. Reclaim your power. Reclaim your strength. Remember who you are. I promise, if you do that, you will come out on top.